I'm Eric,
Hi, I'm Sydney.
and this is Hallmark Mysteries.
And more.
Welcome back, Sydney.
Thanks, Eric. Hey.
So today we've got a little bit of news, and then we're going to be talking about one of the old mysteries, wedding planner mystery. This kind of little fun trip down memory lane.
Oh, yeah, we're going back in a time machine to when no one knew what a pandemic was and chunky statement necklaces were in and platform heels.
To run around in. But they're good to kick people. A little foreshadow.
That's true.
Yeah, I'll admit that 2014 was before I was even aware of Hallmark. Had you started watching yet?
It was literally the year before.
Okay.
So I was 2015, missed it by a year.
I think I was like 2018. So I'm like relatively new. I'm just a novice here. 2018, 2017, somewhere around there.
That's okay. You caught up.
Yep. Okay. All right. So why don't we first start with some of the exciting news? We had heard from Hallmark that they were going to really get behind mysteries in 2023. And so far we've had one a month, which has been exciting. April are taken off, but was Curious Case this month or was it the end of March? It was the end of March, right? Time's flying. Yeah, it's definitely
the
March.
Mystery Lane. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, it's definitely March.
Yeah.
Okay, so April they're taking off, but they're making up for it with two mysteries in May.
Yeah.
One of them is the new one with Jodie Sweetin. It's called The Jane Mysteries: Inheritance Lost, and that one's going to be airing on Friday, March 12th. It's starring Jodie Sweetin, as I mentioned, and Stephen Huszar, who is that how you pronounce his name?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he was from Ruby Herring Mystery, which
Yeah.
I think I liked more than most people, but it's probably because I like Taylor Cole more than most people. But I thought that was a pretty fun one. And then it has the director is Marco De Fumia and the writer is Neil Kimmel. Don't know them. They're not really Hallmark. Don't have a lot of Hallmark history or anything like that, so they're kind of new to it. But here's what Hallmark has to say about it. Singer Jane De Silva, who is played by Jodie Sweetin, inherits the Family Foundation, which is a nonprofit detective agency that helps people who aren't able to help themselves. Jane's aunt Sadie, played by Paris Jefferson, and Detective John Cameron, played by Huszar, act as her mentors as she takes on her first case surrounding a mother's untimely death years before. As Jane investigates a multi-level marketing company that took advantage of her client's fragile mom, she realizes that digging up the past can be dangerous.
Oh my gosh. Right off the bat, I'm like, multi-level marketing. Love this. And that the detective is acting as a mentor. That's very different.
It will be interesting to see if he, one of our peeves is the dismissive detective, or I should say the dismissive male detective. Well, no, Maggie was dismissive of Henry and the gourmet detective as well. So the dismissive detective, we really aren't a fan of that. So yeah, they will be interesting. What do you think about Jodie Sweetin? Because she's like your Full House kind of generation there.
I was not, I'll be honest, I was not like a huge Full House fan. I was more like Family Matters. So what the Christmas Ghost of Christmas Past was really like, I loved that because there
Ghost
was
of Christmas
the dad.
always
Sorry.
yes, with Reginald, right?
Yes. I loved seeing him. And but yeah, Full House. I am not like, I'm excited to see what she has to bring, but I just don't remember her so much from the past. So
So I think you are going to like it because from the little pictures I saw of it, she seems to be like maybe a nightclub singer or something. So it's going to be very interesting to see your style take because it seems like this movie is going to be loaded with style.
Well, from the still that they shared, I see she is wearing long gloves. And I love a long glove moment because we don't get to see that very often. So I'm excited too. Yeah.
I almost wore my long gloves today and I didn't.
Save it for the Paris episode we're doing, Eric, with your beret.
I do have it. I have it all ready to go.
Great.
So yeah, as I said, that's Friday, May 12th. So I thought normally the mysteries came out on Sundays, but both
Yeah, is
this
that
one and Carrot Cake Murder are both coming out on Fridays.
really? Maybe they're trying to switch to Fridays versus Sundays. They usually come out on a Sunday.
Yeah, maybe Sunday's going to have like more of a drama coming out on those days. I don't know.
Jane says it's May 14th. And
Interesting.
Carrot Cake says it's May 21st, which would be
Interesting.
Sundays.
Interesting. So these are different. So we got the Jane mysteries coming out the weekend of May 12th. A little conflicting information, whether it's Friday or Sunday. We think it's probably really Sunday, even though the press release said the 12th. Speaking of the other movie, Carrot Cake Murder, a Hannah Swenson mystery. That one we believe is coming out on the 21st, Sunday, May 21st. And that stars, of course, Alison Sweeney, Cameron Matheson, and Barbara Niven. Also, one of the things to know about this is it's directed by Pat Williams, who did direct Sweet Revenge, so the Hannah Swenson, but the writer is Melissa Salmons, how you pronounce her name, and she did Murder, She Baked, Just Dessert. So they're going back and getting a writer from previous, because I know a lot of people had some issues with some of the writing, having a different feel than the Murder, She Baked. So they did get a Murder, She Baked writer for this one. She also, Melissa also wrote Chronicle Mysteries, and big fan of that one. So that's exciting. And sorry, the first one, Sweet Revenge, that was written by Macy Holland, who wrote Nikki Nora, Matchmaker Mysteries, as well as Picture Perfect, which we just talked about last week. So Marcy's gone and Melissa is in. So what do you think? You excited for some Hannah going around?
I am. And I think now that you say that, I'm even more excited because I feel like when we were discussing, our favorite mysteries, one thing that I wasn't really in love with was the way, ever since, things kind of shifted in that Murder, She Baked realm, I didn't enjoy the changes. Like I felt like there was a change in the writing. I felt like there was a change in even like the wardrobe to a certain degree and stuff. So, and I know that the cat changed. Okay. I know.
Oh, too funny. Probably I don't know how, maybe they had to change the cat for untimely reasons. I don't know.
I know. I try not to think about that, but I was just saying everything, there's too much change for me.
Now, the interesting thing will be is if her original sister comes back. We know that
That was
she
I
has
did
two
not,
sisters,
yeah.
and they replaced her. The old sister went away and the new sister came. So I wonder if they'll have both sisters, because I'm guessing she wasn't in it because of some sort of conflict, but I don't know.
I'd like to think that because I really enjoyed the older sister. And I was not as like in love with the younger sister. So
I didn't have a problem with it, and maybe because I read the book, so I knew she had two sisters, so I didn't think it was a lot of people I'd read had felt like there was just a swaparoo, and I guess maybe there was a little bit of one, but to me it made sense since I had read the books that it made sense. But we'll see. I think a lot of people feel the same as you. All right, and then the last bit of, I can't really say it's news, it's more gossip, but there are some rumblings that there's going to be a Nikki and Nora that's going to be going into production soon. Hunter and Rhiannon have done some like cryptic little messages in social or made comments that are having people a buzz thinking that Nikki and Nora is going to be coming back soon. You excited about that one?
I am. I'm excited for them to continue some of these one-offs. I think it's just like, why would you just leave it as one? I'm tired of that. And I know you're excited.
Yes, it was my favorite last year, and I won't mention the irony in that today we are reviewing a one-off.
Yeah, I know that. I'm disappointed that it was.
But yeah, I thought, yeah, that, as you know, that was my favorite one of last year. So yeah, I'm excited. I did watch the Professional Bridesmaid yesterday. I had it recorded and I just hadn't had time, and I did watch it yesterday and didn't love it. I don't know. Did you see it?
I had it recorded and I haven't seen it. I have to watch that and last night's movie today.
Yeah, I have to watch last night's as well. But yeah, I was a little disappointed because Hunter King, I think, does a really good job. Like Hidden Gems last year turned out to be a really delightful surprise. And then Nikki Nora was great. So
yeah. Well, do you think it was just the writing, or was there?
yeah, I think it was just kind of one of the ones where the premise was just a little too silly.
Okay.
So, and I can handle silly. It's Hallmark universe, but whatever. But what do you say we get back to some sleuth and talk?
Yeah, because I'd like to discuss favorite mystery of 2014.
You know what? I would agree with you, I think. I don't know
Yeah,
what else
because
came out in 2014.
the other one was Aurora Tea Garden.
Oh, it was?
I think
Okay.
so. I don't know.
I was thinking maybe there was like maybe there was a Haley Dean or a mystery woman. I don't know what's coming out back in 2014, but
Yeah.
all right. Why don't I give a quick, well, I can't say a quick synopsis because as we discussed before we started recording, this is the longest synopsis that Hallmark has ever written. I think they had an intern on their first day who was trying to impress everyone, crank this one out.
Yeah.
Because after we read this, I'm not sure we're going to have to really talk too much because it's so inclusive.
Yeah.
All right. So, Wedding Planner Mystery. It's based on the Deborah Donnelly novel Weird Threats, which is part of her whole series, Wedding Planner Mysteries, which has Carnegie.
Wait, you said weird threats. It's veiled threats.
Veiled threats. All right. Well, a little weird threats too. Right, Veiled Threats, which has Carnegie Kincaid, played by Erica Durance, is a wedding planner and a perfectionist in both work and romance. When a murder occurs and a bride, I don't know how to pronounce her name, Chilan Simmons.
Yeah.
And a bride is kidnapped, Chilan Simmons. I'm just slaughtering this. When a murder occurs and a bride is kidnapped, surrounding the wedding of a prominent family embroiled in a huge profile fraud scandal, Carnegie becomes a suspect. She is questioned by police and pursued by shady news reporter Aaron Gold, played by Andrew Walker. To make matters worse, more terrifying, Carnegie is pretty certain whoever is responsible for the crime is out to get her. As she struggles to clear her name, Carnegie is hounded by a hard-boiled detective played by Rick Ravanello,
Ravanello.
or that, and wooed by a handsome lawyer, Brandon Beamer. With her life exploding into a whirlwind mix of danger, mystery, and romance, Carnegie begins to realize that love does not always arrive in a pretty package, and that the perfect Prince Charming she's been waiting for may not have her best interests in mind. After reading all that, which was definitely difficult, you know what I think I need? I think I need a cocktail.
Yeah, to steady the hand. Woo!
Yes. You think you can help me out with that, Sydney? You have any cocktail concoctions by chance?
Yeah. Well, I just want to mention though that I think that was a missed opportunity if they had wanted to make this a series, like wedding planner mystery, veiled threats, you
I
know?
agree.
But so the cocktail I came up with for this is actually kind of funny. It's called Cheers to Not Being Guilty, the Champagne Jell-O Shots.
Nice.
And you're going to need an ice cube mold for this. I would recommend a silicone one. Those are now more prevalent and you can get them in fun designs, but you'll need some champagne, some lemon juice, some sugar, some vodka, some gelatin, and some non-cooking spray, and some sanding sugar. So you're going to, mix up the champagne, the lemon juice, and the sugar, and then get that dissolved with the gelatin. And then you'll put it into your silicone molds and you'll put it in the fridge for at least 3 hours. Just make sure it's really solidified, because if you take them out, they're not, then that is just a normal shot with some Jell-O in it. And then when it's done, and it's really solid, you'll pop them out of the molds. And I would recommend making them like the night before and leaving them in the fridge arranged on a platter. And right before you serve them, put that sanding sugar on them, because if it is in the least bit warm, then sugar melts. And sanding sugar is like a substantial sugar. It is almost like a sprinkle, but still it's going to be susceptible like any other. And I love the way sanding sugar looks. Like when you throw it on stuff, it does remind you of like a wedding, like, confetti or something like that. It adds a little bit of sparkle.
Quick question. Before you do these, do you have to put on a little cat outfit?
Oh, you know what? I feel like what was more in keeping was Lori's outfit, the fairy outfit with the sparkle.
Okay.
So
We'll get to talking about that so people know what the heck we're talking about.
Yeah, love that.
Okay. So now that we have had our cocktail, now that we've had our 4.5 hour description, what are your first thoughts of this movie?
My first thoughts are I really enjoyed this movie. It was kind of ridiculous and I loved that for it. Like I have first of all, I want to mention, because we're coming off on the heels of Picture Perfect Mystery, that there were quite a few overlaps. So Kenny, the DJ from Picture Perfect Mysteries, was her assistant in the beginning, following her around saying, so and so forgot this, and then Lori, Carnegie's best friend, basically was Noah's mom, the owner of Midnight Gallery.
Seriously?
Yes. And
how do I not notice those things? But okay.
And Carnegie's florist, or the florist, was one of the villains from Death Over Diamonds. So you have 3 overlapped characters. I was like, wow.
I don't know how to pronounce his name. Zaf Paru.
Yeah.
Zahfparoo. Yeah. That one, I did catch.
Yeah.
Because he's in like so many Hallmark things.
Well, you said that last time, and I was like, man, I don't really recall seeing him. And now it's like on my radar, and I saw him right away.
Well, now every time you watch a Hallmark, you will see him again and again and again.
Great. So, he's like hiding in a bush. He's popping out. But I loved it. What about you?
I agree. I think that now I will say, and we'll get into the reviews, like, is this in the league of a Chronicle Mysteries, a crossword mystery one, like one of those, elite mysteries? No. But you know what this is? This is a real fun, cozy mystery. This is what a cozy mystery is supposed to be. Like you said, it's a little bit silly. You don't take it too serious, because if you start like looking for all the little plot holes, you're going to just not get past the first 5 minutes, because you keep, if you start to, and this will, sound far more critical than it should, but if you start to like think and go, wait a minute, you'll just lose all the fun of the movie. Yeah. I think Erica Durance. It was fun watching this because what's interesting is I had to just watch this again before we decided to review it. So when, we suggested, I was like, oh, well, my life's easy. I just, watched it. It was really good to see her in just a fun role because it seems like the last couple of years, she's just been in these really heavy roles.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing is, and this will sound kind of bad, she's up for an award for like Canadian Best Actress in a movie, like a weekly movie or something like that, because she
Yeah.
is a fantastic actress. But she was kind of bitchy though, and what is it? We All Need a Little Christmas, Color My World with Love, Unexpected Grace, like all of those movies. She was really good, but her character just was not warm and
Friendly.
fuzzy. Yeah. And in this one, she was just like she's carried the movie
Yeah.
because I will say, and the sort of will be all over the place. We won't be as, I guess, what we liked, what we didn't like, but there was definitely some bad acting in this
Oh
movie.
yeah.
With a lot of the
There were some
secondary
bad
characters.
wigs.
Yes, I had that in my note.
Ah!
For me to notice that it's got to be a bad wig.
Like, comb it out, ladies, please.
But I think, they just probably got some of the local people that they had to get, and they just, had the top ones because, even Andrew Walker was, I can't say, like, he's definitely acted better in other movies, but he was just fun in this movie. And I think his role of Aaron Gold was, he played it well, but it was not by any means an award-winning role.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just going to, and you can, give me your feedback on these, but there were some moments that I like really enjoyed. In particular, there was the brakes failing.
Battery low.
Oh, sorry, you'll have to cut that out. Did you hear that?
Your battery is low.
God. Okay. There was the part where the brake is failing in the van and they're going downhill and they're just like screaming in the van, and then they end up, surviving, but all the wedding stuff is pushed to the front of the van and they're like exhausted. That for me was pretty funny because I don't see so much of the like, high speed chase stuff in the mysteries, and I thought that was kind of interesting.
Was that really high speed chase?
I know, but it was kind of fun.
It was definitely fun.
And I thought the old lady wedding crasher, Queen Mary, was interesting. She was always wearing the same outfit. Love that for her.
I have to, and I guess this is such an old movie that we can do spoilers, but I really was expecting her to be a bad guy with the way
I can
things
see
were
why
going.
you would. Yeah, I can see why you would think that. Yeah.
But every bad guy in this movie was so overacting, like,
Yeah.
I was expecting, too bad the lawyer guy didn't like have a mustache that he could twist and stuff as he talked. He was so like obviously sinister. But go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and I really liked Eddie Green, her dad's friend that was her business partner. I kind of wish they had given him a bit more like time or involvement in the movie. It seemed like he could have been a better character or sidekick almost, in a way. Not so much a sidekick, but just more involved. I would have liked that, but I liked him. I thought it was funny when she was like, do you wear Switchblade? And he was like, no, I wear Burberry.
Yeah, Switchblade cracked me up. Switchblade has to be Axe. That's all I can think of, because my son unfortunately went through his little Axe phase, and it is the most disgusting scent around. So yeah, Switchblade. And like when she goes up to Aaron Gold and is sniffing him. Are you wearing Switchblade?
I was like, wow, she's really in his personal space, but it worked for me. I liked that. And I also really loved how flirty Aaron Gold was. It was like when he was hitting her with the hazel eyes, calls her Hazel,
Yeah.
and he's got a soft shoulder for her and all this other stuff. I'm like, dang, he's really coming in with these flirty moves, and I'm liking it. He's
He was
good flirt.
definitely not holding back, but I will say she was absolutely adorable, so
Yeah.
understandable.
Yes. And then my my final favorite like line or whatever was when she breaks back into the wedding and like Dorothy is on the floor passed out and she's like, "Oh my god." And she calls 911 and she starts saying her age and Dorothy's like, "I'm 39. I've been 39 for a long time."
Absolutely. In fact, I had that exact one written down as well, because I know my note for that is the exact definition of the fun, cozy mystery line in it.
Yes.
Because this woman is unconscious or something, completely out of it, and yet wakes right back up with that line. So
Yes.
yes,
And
hilarious.
and I love that lady. She always plays like a very elegant character in Hallmark movies, and I just love her. So it was kind of funny to just see her. And I don't know if you noticed in the background when they come in and like there's that message on the mirror and
Right.
like they're like, "Oh, they stole her," or whatever. Dorothy just goes and sits down and opens the champagne and she's pouring herself champagne in the background.
I
She's like,
did
"Well,
not
this
notice that.
She's like, "Well, this wedding's over."
So yes, that's Laura Soltis, who she was in Romance and Style. She was like the mean boss.
Yes,
She was
yes.
fantastic in that role. I thought she was great. She was also in Lights, Camera, Christmas. She was really good in that. See, that's one of the ones who I actually did recognize from other things.
Well, that's obvious because she's a fancy looking
Yeah,
lady,
she is
and
fancy.
I'm sure that you would recognize her.
But I just loved her being like this rival wedding planner. And the funny thing about it is, and going back to the writing being just so inconsistent with like trying to maintain um any sense of continuity. She breaks back into the wedding,
Yeah.
sneaks in there, and all of a sudden she's the one who's out there saying, "Hey, the wedding's canceled," and she's coordinating all the cancellation to all the vendors. While I guess you've got Deborah over there just drinking her
Yeah.
champagne.
And you know what? Afterwards, I found it also very strange because that lawyer guy, Holt, comes and he says, Dorothy's not in a position
Odor.
to talk to the crowd. So if you could go out there and make the announcement, how does he know? Is she already drunk? It's like, how does he know?
Well, she was just bonked on the head too.
That's true,
So she's
actually.
drinking with a concussion. It's probably not sound medical advice.
She needs some Jell-O shots.
Yes, she does. Perfect. Yeah, so yeah,
Oh
there was so
God.
many funny moments. Another one was when they went into the gym and
Yeah.
she says to Lily, like, "Hey, go make a distraction." So here she is in like her full work clothes, knee-high boots and her purse and her bag, whatever, and going down to some machine and being like, "Oh, I pulled a muscle, I pulled a muscle." Like,
Yeah.
how unbelievably ridiculous is that? And if you were to take this movie serious, it would just annoy you. But that's like
Yeah.
a great example how you just can't take it serious.
Yeah.
Um, and
Definitely.
then, yeah, I thought it was just too funny when she also is like, "Oh, I got to make ends meet, so we're doing the superhero wedding." And
Yeah.
as you said before, she's dressed as, I guess, Catwoman, I guess. And then she's
Yeah.
got her Lily is dressed as the fairy, and they're going to do a wedding. I'm just like, what's that wedding got to be like? And so that cracked me up.
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, the one unbelievable part of that too is that she went out and she made those announcements and all. She had the cat makeup still on her face. No one told her she had the cat makeup on her face.
Yeah, she
Like
looked
while
cute. So I
I
think they're trying
I
to keep her on camera as much as possible looking like that. And it's
I,
funny.
I think so too, but it's just that part right there is not very believable if you
Well,
were being nitpicky.
I would say that once again, like I said, we could just run down a whole list. So question, a main thing for this
Mhm.
is I thought Aaron Gold said when he was there, saying, "Hey, I'm a celebrity reporter," but then he was like trying to investigate the
Uh, I
the
thought he was an investigative journalist.
well, he's
Is
saying that, but then I thought he was also saying he was doing I was just confused as to what he actually was.
I think he was just trying to confuse everyone on what he was because he was trying to say he was different things so that people didn't keep him out of stuff.
And then how do you show up at a wedding in your disguise as a groomsman? Like I think that would be you would try to blend in with the crowd, not being somebody who's out there responsible for, seeing everybody in a super high profile.
I don't know, and
But
he didn't even look like the groomsman. So that was he was wearing like a 70s-esque suit. It had like a big cummerbund and pastels and like a
uh,
ruffle on his. I was like, no, this
yes.
is
Oh, I'm really excited for when we get to our breakdown and listen to your style take on this one. But
wow.
so you're talking about the sort of um, her Carnegie's father figure, the
Yeah.
guy. He was in an Aurora Tea Garden movie, at least one.
Yeah.
Do you
Yes,
recognize
he
him from that?
was. I did kind of. I knew he had been in other things, and so it seemed like sometimes people look. He looked similar to someone else too. So
Okay, I was trying to figure out if he was like a main because I tried making it through some and I didn't make it very far. But yeah, I was just trying to figure out if he is a main character or like a reoccurring character or not.
yeah.
But so the other thing, and we've talked about it before, we were talking Picture Perfect, how the
Hmm.
music in that was with that little jazz music.
Yeah.
And the music in this one too, I thought was perfect because it was the sort of like silly Laurel and Hardy sort of circusy type music that would keep
Oh
coming through the
yes.
movie, through the movie. And it was just a way, I think, that constantly reminded you, please don't take me serious. I'm not a serious movie. I'm just a fun movie. I've got shenanigans. I'm here to make you smile. I'm not here to go ahead and be this, you know, scary, complicated, layered whodunit.
Yeah.
I'm just a fun movie with two leads who are just funny and kooky. And then,
Yeah.
some of the sides.
Definitely.
Okay, so we did talk about it. And we have to mention a little bit further. So Clara and her wig was,
Clara. Yes.
which was ridiculous. Now, who did others have a wig, or was just her wig was just so outrageous that it made
It
it up
was
for
to me. It was
everybody?
just Clara. I didn't. I don't
Okay,
recall anyone else's.
because it was, I I don't even know, and maybe that's what they're trying to do, keep that campy because it was so ridiculous.
Well, right away, I didn't care for Clara because Carnegie comes over to have tea. And what kind of like big time socialite doesn't have two teacups that match? She brings her a totally different teacup than the teacup she's drinking out of. Like one of them is like floral and white and the other one is gold and black. It's like couldn't be more opposite, and she's sitting there drinking tea with her out of these totally mismatched teacups, and all I'm looking at is the mismatched teacup and her wig, and I'm like, oh my god.
Well, I think I'm learning something. So mismatched uh, end table lamps are good.
Yeah.
Mismatched teacups, bad.
Well, it's for the character, right? They're trying to portray Clara as having lots of money in this big household and stuff. She's not supposed to be kitschy and like eclectic and whatever. She's supposed to be fancy and, you know, like wearing Burberry and whatever. But instead she's got like this She's got this hobbled together China set and a Ronald McDonald wig. I'm like,
Okay.
what is going on here?
So there is something we do have to talk about her that's in addition to her horrible wig. She's from Kamloops, British Columbia, which
Oh,
is where Benjamin is
Benjamin, yeah.
from, as well as Kendall Cross. So this is like 3 generations now of, well, I guess they're not that far in age, but 3 just different layers. So I don't know how big this Kamloops is, but apparently Kamloops does, I think Benjamin said that in our interview, how they have like a pretty active like high school drama club. And so I'm guessing that Kamloops really does kick out the at least the Hallmark actors.
I don't know. Send Clara back to Kamloops because I was not feeling it at all.
She was in there's a Netflix, which I don't know if you watched, The Night Agent. I've
But
been
you know
I just
what?
started
I
that.
watched the first episode. I haven't finished.
Okay. I can get in my take on that. I don't think the acting in that one is all that great itself,
Yeah.
but she also does have a role. I think I just watched the 5th episode Friday, and she has a role in that.
Oh my gosh.
So
Well, I'll look forward to that. And also like the whole idea that they're super like, I mean, I know that maybe their wealth is tied up because of this Ponzi scheme stuff, but like, did it not seem like that was not a very flashy wedding? Like the weddings I've seen in Hallmark movies where you're like, oh, look at the rose arch and all this junk. It like the wedding in the beginning was not flashy to me, and neither was the second one. It was just kind of like, eh.
so what you're saying is you would not hire Carnegie to be your wedding planner because she's a little bit drab in her taste.
I don't know if it's Carnegie or if it's what the people are wanting, but it just didn't scream socialite wedding to me. You know, I'm like not interested in in what was being offered.
I'm looking up. So I think maybe what we need is a Dorothy wedding to compare it to see what kind of style Dorothy brings. So she's pounding the champagne. She probably has a little bit of a fun wedding there.
I think so, maybe. Yeah. I so we didn't really get to discuss what we didn't like about the movie. Is
I
this
think
what we're getting
I think
into
we said a
it?
lot that we didn't like about the movie, but we can go ahead.
I
Uh,
just was so annoyed because like why was she so against telling the police what was happening to her? Like she didn't tell them about the person by the car. She didn't tell them about the business cards in the case. She didn't tell them about, her van lines getting cut. And then she didn't want to tell them about someone breaking into her house and, logging on and stealing her information. She was just so, I've never met anyone who was so I've never seen anyone in a Hallmark movie where they were so against getting the police
well,
involved at any point, basically.
I have
She looked suspicious because she was like that.
I have 2 responses to that. Number one, as we said before, this cozy mystery, if you really like think about it, it's going to fall apart really easily. So
Yeah.
I would just say, yes, I agree with you. Like all those things, you're like, but it's a typical Hallmark thing. If you just have a simple conversation, then probably 90% of Hallmark movies would not exist, right?
Right.
But the other thing is that cop, detective, whatever his name was, did not really like her. So I could see her not being like super wanting to engage with him because he was like, oh, you're gonna, even forget the murder. You're a suspect because you gave her a bottle of
I
champagne at
know.
the wedding,
That would
right?
never
So
hold water. So when he
right.
was saying that, that was something I was overlooking because like that would never stand up in a court of law because they're grown adults consuming alcohol that she was maybe putting in the room but not providing.
And she wasn't even the bartender or anything, right?
Yes.
But So once again, I'm very much saying we have to let things slide. And I'll just say, very big benefit of the doubt. She just didn't really trust that guy because she thought he was, had it out for her.
Yeah.
So whatever.
But on the subject of him, I would have loved to see where he and Lori go in there. I could have seen a little bit of a happening between him and Lori, the friend, because she had to preoccupy him while
I
she
mean,
escaped the
Lily,
house. What is it, Lily? Because when I looked it up, I thought it was Lori.
her best friend, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lori.
no, Lily.
Is it Lily?
I
Oh.
would not steer you wrong. I never would, ever.
Okay. Well, then Lily. Yes. I thought that her and the detective would have been kind of a interesting
It would be,
side romance.
it would be because they're like, he does not seem to have a funny bone in his body, and she is absolutely kooky. So yeah, that would be a really uh Detective Borden, Detective Borden, that's his name. But yeah, that
Yeah.
would be a very interesting couple.
I
He,
mean,
he,
she kept him busy while she escaped.
she, yes, I will say he made a good detective too.
Yeah. I
But
actually wish they would use him more and stuff. I don't think I've seen him in other ones.
here, I've got IMDb right here. Let's just see what he has done. He's The Cave, Pottywood. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Oh, it's a podcast. You should be on our podcast then. A Mother's Sacrifice, General Hospital,
Okay, I could see that. General Hospital.
Murder in the First. Yeah, it doesn't seem like he has
Not a
much
lot of
in the
Hallmark.
Hallmark. Yeah, it's not in our world very much. So NCIS.
I could see
That's
that.
yep. That's as far as I can tell, that seems to be his only Hallmark thing. So
Okay.
let's bring him back in the new Nikki and Nora that is coming out. Or he could be in Windy City Mysteries.
Oh my God. Let it go, Eric. Let it go.
Not until I see that episode.
I see
Episode.
you dropping comments on Erin
I
Cahill saying Phil.
do.
It,
I'm trying to get her to think like, wait, am I in this movie that I've forgotten about that's coming up? I keep
oh
tagging her.
no.
But
Good Lord.
okay. Anything else that you think deserves to be called out that you didn't like?
Nope, that was it. I
Yeah,
mean, we're going to style after because I
yeah,
feel like I'm just trying to go in the order of the quality of mystery and
yeah. The like I say, the things I had, which that's why I said it was gonna, for me, it would just kind of turn into a more of a jumbled mess, was if it was like what I didn't like about it is it's just if I took it serious, right? I'd have a long list. And so that's why I just opted to be those things I didn't like, forget it. I had fun. It was lighthearted. So all those annoying things, I just literally swept under the rug because
yeah.
otherwise I would have a very big list. So,
Okay.
all right.
Seems fair.
Well, we talked about it then. So why don't we get into our little rankings? I've got a little consistency in mind, so I'm curious to see where you go. The
Okay.
steam meter. Where are you at with the steam meter?
I gave the steam meter an 8
Ooh,
because I felt like Aaron and Carnegie had some real steam. And I also felt like she had some steam with the lawyer in the beginning. And I also felt like there was some weird steam between Lily and the detective. So I felt like there
okay.
was, I felt like
You,
there was something there all
you,
around.
you had just a whole steamy mirror and going on watching this. Okay. I gave it a 5.
Oh.
But you know what? You're right. At the beginning, she was like when she was very flirtatious in this, especially
Mm-hmm.
like when she first met Holt.
The Right.
You know, I guess for me, where it evened out is because I thought, yeah, they definitely, she had steam with Andy Walker, but with Holt, it was so like, hey, this guy's gonna kill me. So I thought that that was anti-steam. But you're right. At the beginning, there was definitely, before she knew that he wanted to kill her, there was definitely steam there. But I guess I could take out, you know, make him a little less attractive.
Yeah.
But okay, all right. And the story, where do you have the story at?
I gave the story a 7. I thought it was kind of whimsical and ridiculous, and I didn't take it seriously. I mean, I took it seriously in some style aspects, but like the story itself, I was kind of like, you know, I liked following it.
All right, I gave it a 5, and I agree with you. I thought it was just fun. It was lighthearted. It was silly, but there was also just so many holes in it that I couldn't give it too much credit. So if someone's,
Hmm.
you know, wanting a, you know, really solid movie, but it was fun. So 5, I
Yeah.
guess, just right in the middle of the road. So there I'm at. The
Yeah.
mystery now.
So the mystery, I gave it a 6, and I felt it was very 2014 with the Ponzi scheme and all that. But I felt like the acting, like a woman should monitor drinking of another woman, and also like the shoe being flung from the car in the beginning. Like she sees a shoe in the street, like when she first is coming up on the woman who crashed the car immediately. I like there were just a little bit too many like I don't follow that so much. I mean, overall it was fun, but like it wasn't the best mystery. I don't know.
I agree. I actually gave it a 6, which is higher than my other 5s. And the only reason why is I think with, if they wanted to take the actual mystery, and it was a decent concept of a mystery. The problem was it was just, you know, so overacted that you knew immediately because of the way that the characters were behaving, and, you know, all the holes and things of that line. But the actual interesting of the mystery, you know, being the wife was kind of a twist with getting the lawyer, you know, her
Yeah.
lawyer on board. So, you know, I thought it was actually could have been good. It just had so many holes, but I think that mostly goes into the story, which
Yeah.
brings us next into, which I was just talking about, the acting.
Yeah, so I gave that I actually gave that a 9, and it's not it was purely because of Erica and Andrew, and I liked the detective and I liked her friend. But I hated Clara and I hated that whole family, like the guy who kept having heart attacks.
Yeah, he was a horrible actor.
But I love Dorothy. So there were things here and there that I really enjoyed. I just really didn't like Clara and like that whole area.
I gave it a 5, but for the almost the same exact reason as you. I thought that Erica and Andrew, you know, for what they were taking this fun, silly mystery, I thought they both did a really good job. And then, but then, yeah, you've got Clara and her husband, and even the guy you like, the Julian Christopher Eddie, Uncle Eddie or whatever he was.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like he also didn't bring his best performance, I don't think. Like it was just so overacted with everybody. Like I guess the difference is Erica and Andrew are good enough actors where they were able to pull it off and you were able to see
Yeah.
that it was whimsical. Whereas everyone else seemed like they just couldn't pull it off. And so it just came out as campy.
Yes.
So that's why I
Yeah.
gave it a 5. I thought 2 of them were really fantastic. And you're right. Like actually Lily, I thought was pretty good. And we talked about Dorothy. So yeah, there were some of those little characters who definitely did do a good
Yeah.
job. But then there's other ones who were just like so bad that it left me in the
It
middle.
ruined it for you. Yeah.
Yeah, it just left me in the middle. So,
Yeah.
okay. And now the style. Where are
I
you in
gave
the styleness?
I gave the style a 2, and that is a generous 2. The 2 is solely because of the cat costume and the last dress she wore, because and Dorothy's outfits, because everyone else looked ghastly. And
Even ghastly for 2014, because you have to remember it's 10 years
I
ago.
thought I thought, why is a wedding planner always wearing a suit? She was always wearing like a suit. I thought that was a little strange. And I also thought for a socialite, none of those people were dressed like socialite people. And I thought the wedding, like, remember the wedding was kind of like, for me. I thought the house itself was like the fancy house was the only thing I really enjoyed, like set design wise, was her house. That little like house that was kind of,
Her
you
little
know, her,
bungalow.
yeah, which those people called a dump when they were rating, and I was like, this is not a dump. This is really cute. So shame on you.
I gave it a 4, but for kind of the same thing, for the cat suit, and then her little like 1950s head,
Oh,
what do you call that? Headscarf
yeah.
when she goes riding in the convertible,
Oh
with the
my God.
sunglasses. I thought she had that like 1950s, starlet. But other than that, yeah, I was hard pressed to find anything that was that great. But I thought those two were just really good. So it elevated that to a 4. You're a little
I
more critical.
I just want to, I'm not nitpicking, but I am. Who is driving a convertible when it's snowing?
Well, that
There's look,
snowstorm came in pretty fast because it wasn't snowing when they left.
there was snow on the ground whenever she
Yeah.
was outside the back of that shack or whatever.
Well,
So it must have been snowing at some point.
some people have convertibles, just will drive them no matter what because they just want to take advantage of the convertible, I guess. But yeah,
I was,
but I guess it made it easier for her to grab the GPS at the end,
I know,
and for
which
her,
was so old. I was
and
like, wow.
and they knew I would have given it a 2 for the style had they not had that one scene. So they are like, what can we do to give her a little bit of style in this movie? But oh yeah, that's also going back. Hey, I downloaded my phone number into your phone and I put your contact stuff in the cloud.
Oh my gosh.
I was
It
like,
was so silly. And he
in
was
the
so young looking.
yes, he
His
was.
his face was still had the chubbiness to it.
And what Erica was like, I really, as you know, I'm terrible at recognizing people, but I wouldn't, if I did not know it was her, I probably wouldn't have thought of her being the Erica from, her
Yeah.
current movie. So, Unexpected Grace, Erica Durance, and Wedding Mystery, Erica Durance is just very different looking,
Yeah.
but
The-
she's a beautiful woman.
It's crazy. It's almost 10 years ago, so
So, right.
people change.
All right. Mine was pretty easy and overall 25. Like I say, averaged 5 for everything. Where'd you end up?
Mine was 32.
So 32. So we're at what, a 30, 60, 57, right?
So
Or is
we're
that
at
67? Regardless, not a great movie, but it was a lot of fun movie.
yeah, I would definitely recommend watching it. You don't have to watch it more than once, but I mean, it's actually like a good background movie too, if you're doing something and you just kind of want to catch scenes here and there.
Yeah, because you don't really miss anything because it doesn't really make sense anyhow. So yeah, you're perfect. Put it
Yeah,
on, watch it, don't watch it, watch it. Um, what would you like to see this had it been a actual series?
I would have loved to see it become a series. I feel like there was a lot of interesting parts of it. Like there's a reporter and a wedding planner. So this is the first time that there isn't like some sort of detective kind of centric almost. Not the first time, but like
Right.
it's
Well,
few
it's
that we see that.
2014, so it probably could be the first time. Well, no. Mystery Woman, that didn't have
Yeah.
she was a bookstore owner, but I guess her sidekick was like a secret agent spy. So he kind
Yeah. And I feel like the detective and Lily, like that would have been a really good, interesting, side romance. And I was interested in this overall, and I would have liked to see more. So yes. What about you?
um, I don't know, because one of the things, like when we talk about these other movies that we really want to see continue on, it's because they were setting them up, their characters, and I didn't see a lot of like character development. You know, your Color Murder, your favorite of last year. They did
Hmm.
such a good job. They had this backstory, at the very end, like, oh my gosh, she's the pictures. So you
Yeah.
just, you need to know more. Nikki and Nora, same thing. You have it going on, but they've got their parents, detective agency, and then they're brought back together. Family History Mysteries, when we talked about that one, they just, did such a good job that building it for the next one. Whereas this
Yeah.
one, I thought could it have been fun to keep doing it and being like a little silly mystery? Sure.
Yeah.
Is it also wrapped up? Yeah.
Yeah. I would
You
agree
know?
it was wrapped up. It kind of actually came on strong at the end. You're like, okay, I guess this guy's marrying her
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he doesn't
So,
have a choice.
like I
I don't
said,
know.
I was not left with, a lot of the other ones. I am left with like, okay, I really want to know more what's going on, and I wasn't left
Yeah.
that way. But like I said, it's up, and it sounds like maybe giving it a low score means it's not a worthwhile movie. It's definitely, as we said, a fun movie to watch. Especially, you got nothing going on, throw it on.
Yeah.
It's one of the ones where I probably watch it maybe once a year, maybe once every year and a half kind of thing. I just throw
Yeah.
it on because it's like you say, you throw it on, you don't have to pay attention, you still have fun.
It's great for crafting. Like,
Perfect. Uh, okay. Well, there we go. That is Wedding Planner Mystery.
yes.
Um, Mysteries. So, I guess we're moving on now. As
Yeah.
usual, we always like to, I was just reading our comments, and it is nice on Apple there how people really are enjoying the fact of having a podcast that just focuses on mysteries. And, I know we did swing a little into a couple, touching on some of the Hallmark universe there, but for the most part, like I say, we are 99.9% mystery, though if our mystery characters sometimes have another movie, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But we really appreciate loving. We have 5 stars on Apple, which is a huge, huge honor. We very much appreciate that. So if you want to leave us uh, reviews, we would greatly appreciate it. Plus, visit our website where we have more content coming up. I'm getting ready to post the recipe for Hannah Swenson's carrot cake. Yeah,
Ooh. Yum
we have our
yum.
cookies up there. We have uh, the official crossword mystery crossword puzzles on there. So we're going to be having
Yeah.
some of our cocktails and our other recipes. So good time to go to our website, which is Hallmark Mysteries and More.
Yeah. Definitely. And also, on that note, I just want to mention I don't think we've talked about this since we wrapped the March Mystery Madness, but it'll be back next year, people. So rally your groups. If you didn't get your mystery to win, don't feel bad. It'll be back.
I thought it was so fun. I was thinking about maybe doing another one where we do like rank your favorite, you know, male lead or your
Detective
maybe
or yeah.
detective, but we would have to define what a detective is, I guess, from what we learned. But
Oh my gosh, yes.
moving on beyond that. Um, so
Yeah. And follow us over on Instagram at Hallmark Mysteries and More, where we have super fun trivia and we have lots of sleuther style and cool ideas and movie poster ideas. And you know what? We have a great mystery community over there. So
Plus, we are going to be announcing something absolutely huge on Instagram. Huge, bigger than big, bigger than huge. What's huger than huge? I don't know, whatever that word is.
Massive.
Massive. We have a massive surprise coming over on that we'll be announcing on our Instagram soon. So definitely be, if you're not following us yet, follow us soon.
Wow.
All right. Well, Sydney, this was fun. It was, like I say, it was a very fun movie. It was a fun chat. As usual, I had a blast.
Me too.
All
See
right.
ya.
See ya.